Hi, I'm gonna continue. Um, so let's see. In the last episode, the son of Nansho was about to tell us what something weird that happened around that time, around the time of the killings. Okay. Um, Before I start today, I'm feeling so fucking sad. Let's see if I can fix that. Well, ignore my sad feelings. Okay, let's see. For a while, the doctor beat around the bush. But after saying that much, he wouldn't be able to fool Angie by dodging the subject. He eventually gave in, and after making Angie swear herself to secrecy again, told her, "The truth is, several days after that incident, I received something by mail at my home." By mail? I still don't have a voice for Angie. "It was very curious. The sender was made out to be me. The sender was made out to be me, but I had no memory of it." "You? So you sent the letter yourself?" "Someone had faked my name and sent it." "Oh. So the destination was Rebound Island in Hokkaido. Excluding the northern territories, it is at the northernmost tip of Japan. The recipient was apparently a resident of Reborn Island, but the name was my father's." "Oh." "However, it seems that there was a problem with the destination address, so it was stamped as address unknown, and returned to the sender, me." "Oh, so it was a trick." It's just a trick to... So the letter is anonymous. It was truly strange tale. Nansho's son's name was written as the sender. However, he said that he hadn't mailed the letter. In short, that meant someone had faked his name and sent it. The destination was Nansho Terusama on Hokkaido's Reborn Island, but the lot number written on it didn't exist, so the local post office had been unable to deliver it and instead sent it back to the sender, Nansho's son. What was inside? I do ask that you keep silent about this. It is extremely troublesome to me as well. And even so, I cannot throw it away. The doctor stood up and faced at the bookshelf. There was packed a group of dictionaries that could only have been ornamental, meant to make it very clear that the owner was an intellectual. When he pulled several volumes out from there, a large brown envelope peeked out from behind them. He took that out and tossed it in onto the desk. It had been carefully sealed with cellophane tape, and its faded color and dryness made it clear that it has been sealed 12 years ago. Oh. I ask mostly solemnly for your silence on this matter." Being so persistent that it was annoying, the doctor removed the seal with a paper knife. Then, when he tilted the envelope, an already open mail envelope spitted out. The envelope had a weight to it, hinting that there was something other than the letter inside. The recipient was certainly Nansho Terusama. Just seeing that was a huge shock. Following that incident, Nansho's corpse had not been found, and he had eventually been treated as dead after going missing under extraordinary circumstances. And despite that, this letter addressed to Nansho in Hokkaido existed. One could almost take this as a sign that he has faked his own death and escaped to Hokkaido. No way. Was Dr. Nansho really in Hokkaido? Or else, Was there another person with the same first and last name in Hokkaido? If my father has somehow escaped from the accident and live in Hokkaido, that will have made us his family very happy regardless of the circumstances. I also thought of that possibility at first. However, the envelope's destination and address do not exist. In short, this envelope was mail that had no way of reaching him. Is there a possibility that the sender miswrote the correct address? Of course, I cannot deny it. However, judging from the residence house number, I find that hard to believe. Hokkaido, Reborn Island, Reborn County, Reborn City, 1234567. Up until Reborn City is fine, but I just couldn't wipe away the feeling that the sequential number after it, 1234567, was a little insincere. It felt like a fake number that some kid had made up. Maybe it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it's stupid, yes, but Kinso has a lot of money, so maybe he has some way. I mean, he managed to get an island for himself, and I mean, he owns that island, and that's like super illegal. That's like super weird. It shouldn't happen, but he was able to make that work because of his connection and money. So maybe that number exists. They probably wrote a nonsense number that clearly didn't exist. I think it's natural to assume that from the very beginning this envelope was sent to a non-existent residence to which it had no chance of being delivered. If the destination address doesn't exist, mail is generally returned to the sender. But even in the case of an incomplete address, the local post office will often courteously, and to the best of his ability, research to find whether the sender's intended destination exists. When they still can't find it, the mail is sometimes returned after an investigation of several days. It seems that the same thing had happened with this envelope, and the stamp was postmarked on October 3. It was postmarked on Nishima. Nishima was a long way away from Reborn Island. On top of that, the destination was also nonsensical. It had taken more than a week for the mail to be returned. In other words, there was a probability, a high chance that having the envelope returned to the sender after an unfixed amount of time. It had been the goal from the very beginning, that's what I was thinking. Why do something like that to keep the sender anonymous? Even before asking what it was that had been sent, this envelope was already wrapped in mystery. Okay, let's see what's inside. Yes, that's right. And inside it... Go ahead. After getting the doctor's permission, I tilted the already opened envelope. From the inside came a small folded letter and a small key with a number plate attached. Then a magnetic card slid out. A112 was engraved on the case number plate. I didn't know what it meant. A magnetic card was pitch black and had gold characters engraved in it. Members was written in English. A check black gold letter card design made it feel like something very high class, but of course, I didn't have a clue what kind of card it was just from that. I unfolded the letter. Its contents were extremely brief and only the following was written. Oh. 071511129. Also written was the name of a certain massive bank known through Japan, as well as the words Central Branch. That was all. And this reminds me a little bit to Twin Peaks. It's a card, a key, and a pin for a safe deposit box. Exactly, a safe deposit box. And it wasn't a normal safe deposit box either. It was an unsettling one, which was apparently reserved only for special clients. That's right. After he finished putting his affairs in order following his father's funeral, he had visited the bank. Pin and key and card. There was no doubt that something of great importance was kept there, and he had been naturally curious about what it might be. At first, he hadn't known what to do. The card wasn't something he owned in the first place. When he mustered up his courage and showed the card to the bank clerk, he was then switched to a clerk of clearly high status. Oh! And was guided to a large vault on a fourth basement. Ooh, just imagine. That's so creepy. You go there, you present the key, the pin, and the normal bank clerk, thinking that you were just a normal dude, presented to you. But when he figured it out that was way too weird, they switch to a clerk of even more status. And then they guide you to these large vaults, like Harry Potter, like the Harry Potter thing. I don't know, it's just way too weird. On a fourth basement. I think it's so cool to imagine that. The security on the way there was strict. The doctor had himself stored valuable items such as real estate transcript in the safe deposit boxes before. But this was something on a whole different level. Unlike the procedure at the deposit box I had been using, with this system, as long as you had a card, a pin and a key, you didn't need to have your identity confirmed. But anyways, I was frightened at how imposing that secure vault was. And I wondered what kind of shady objects might await me that I had to be stored in a place like this. And then, you didn't explode, do you? When I passed the card through the reader, I was asked to input the PIN, and after that 8-digit number was input and authenticated, I was permitted access to the vault. It was an incredible scene, a world like something from sci-fi. What? From a sci-fi movie. The massive dim-lit silver room was covered with door safes. He had entered that room along with the clerk. It seems that as soon as the card was read, the vaults he had arrived to were determined. So that safes he could open were lit with green light, while those he couldn't open were lit with red one. A112 was one of those safes that were marked. By the way, there were several other safes marked with a green lamp besides that one. I think there were at least 20. There might even have been more than other corner. In any event, I only had the key to A112. I had no way of checking the contents of the other safes. Sorry if English is a little bit complicated to me. It's not my first language, and I'm very Very, very bad. I have no exposure to anyone speaking English, so it's, as you may guess, is very limited. I don't even know what clerk is, so I'm just trying to vibe with all this. As the clerk watched, the doctor had unlocked and opened the safe. Oh. When he did, a safe drawer like a large cabinet had opened, and an expensive-looking duralumin case picked out. That's a new word. That was carried out into a separate room, where for the first time the clerk left, and he was introduced to the contents. And the contents were... cash. Cash? How much? Cash. I have heard that a pack of 1 million yen in fresh banknote is precisely 1 centimeter thick. Since those were packed tightly into a duralumin case of such size, there was probably 100 million in total. I don't know because I didn't count. I didn't even touch it with my hands. I realized it at once. This was dangerous money. It isn't normal to store a whole 100 million yens in a case in a safe like that. It's much easier to deal with it if you put it into an account and turn it into numbers. When someone is unable to do that, then it's clear that there's something wrong with that cash. Oh. So what I'm getting of all this is that obviously it's on purpose, but why? My mind went blank, and I instantly realized that I mustn't get involved. So you didn't use it at all? Correct. I look it back up just as I found it, returned it to the original safe and left. I have thought about throwing away that keycard, but I don't know what will happen. For that reason, I had been hiding it in the back of this bookcase for full 12 years. I still don't know what kind of money that was. Scary. What will you do if you're presented with this situation? I will use the money. I will use the heck out of that money. But it's very scary. I mean, you can't just use it willy-nilly because of the taxation, right? But if you launder it, of course, I guess it could work. But then again, I get it is a little bit scary. It's very interesting. Could I borrow this envelope? No. Please, just leave it here. Understood. Then, if you excuse me, there's something I want to investigate. I took One-chan's book Grimoire from the knapsack knapsack I had set down. Then I opened the page with the paragraph Beatrice had written to One-chan and compared it to the handwritten on both. There was no mistake about the characteristic handwriting. The one who had sent this 100 million yen cash was Beatrice herself. But what is it? Something's bugging me. What is it? What could it be? Doesn't make sense. And who are you? And another people, or you're just the same Nanjo? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got something like that in the mail. Hey ma, where'd you put that? Huh? Who are you? The same envelope and contents had been sent to Kumasawa's son, who had once lived with her. Oh! What? But when do you meet Kumasawa's son? I don't remember reading that. But he had been very busy in the days since and seemed to have forgotten about it while running around all over the place. However, its strange contents had apparently stayed in his memory, and he remembered it as soon as Angie mentioned it to him. Oh, so now we're... Okay, I see. After a bit of waiting, his thin-lipped wife found the envelope, complaining that he always forgot where he put things right away. What is happening? The modus operandi for the sender and recipient was the same as Nansha's son. The sender was made out to be Kumasawa's son, and the recipient was Kumasawa's Chiyo. And the destination address was in the Okinawa Prefecture. Okinawa Prefecture, Yaeyama County, Yonaguni City, 12345667. Yonaguni Island was at the westernmost tip of Japan, and the lot name was the exact same sequential number that had apparently been chosen without much care. Now it was certain. This envelope was definitely sent with the goal of having it returned to the sender. The contents were exactly the same. The letter with the pin and the bank mail branch written on it, a magnetic card, a key with an attached number plate. The inscription of the number plate was A113. The numbers right after the one on the key that had been sent to Nansho. Most likely inside the vault was the same kind of Duralumin case, packed with 100 million yen in cash. I'm going to guess that Duralumin case is just a fancy, those like mafia styles cases. This is getting so cool. Oh boy. I get the feeling my dead mother sent it to me from beyond the grave. Oh, you're kinda cute, old man. He's kinda cute, like, oh, I feel like it was my mother. he takes it completely different from Nansho's sons. He is more like, oh, it's from my mother. Or just like, this is the other one was like very scared of all this. What is this fucking shit? And this one is like, oh, this is cute. What the heck? Don't really get what's inside, and it's creepy, so I just left it alone all the time. I totally forgot about it until today. What the heck? So you know what is this, girl? Could it be that the same kind of thing came to your place? Ah, maybe. Oh, I have to give you a voice to you as well. By the way, it had a long time since I saw you last. Cute demon. What is it? What is it, Angie-sama? Oh, it's you! Who are you? What is it to do? It is a headache. A headache? You guys. Sorry, my head hurts. I got it, I know. What do you mean, you know? Don't you mean this envelope came to your place too, Angie-sama? I remember it. I remember. A strange envelope was also sent to me 12 years ago. After losing my entire family, I was depressed. But it was really a strange thing to come in the mail, so I still have a faint memory of it. Oh boy. It was a strange letter which I had no memory of sending, but which had me as sender. I forget the destination address, but the name recipient has been Ushiromiya Rudolph, my father. I remember how disturbed I was when I opened the letter. I thought it was from father. opened it and found a key and a card that didn't really understand. I felt it down and threw it away somewhere, I think. Where did I put that envelope? I probably lost it somewhere in the chaos that followed. By now, I have no way of checking its contents. However, I have a general idea. I'm sure of contents were the same, without a doubt. There had been a key, a card, and a note with a pin inside the envelope. So, one was from the north, one was from the west, maybe the other one is from the east, and maybe there's a fourth one. Beatrice, what was she trying to do here? Did she hand out this stupid money to all the surviving relatives? I won't forgive her for mocking them after their deaths. Ryu, Angie. Sakutaro acted nervously. As I looked at his worrying face with agitation began to cool off bit by bit. I'm sorry. My hatred of Beatrice isn't it anything new. I was just surprised and angry to find out that I had a connection with the witch already at that age of 6 on that day. For the past 12 years, you have been constantly enslaved by Beatrice's curse. This might be proof of that curse. But please, hang in there. Breaking through that was supposed to be part of the goal of this journey. That's right. Just letting the blood rise to my head won't get me anywhere. Got to think calmly. What's going on? What's the meaning of handing 100 million yen to the relatives? Is she trying to provoke us? Damn that Beatrice. Angie, calm down! Ryu! As Sakutaro buried his head on my stomach, cute! As Sakutaro buried his head in my stomach, he urged to stay calm. I took another deep breath and I started taking. Sorry, Sakutaro is so cute. I wonder if this envelope was sent to support the theory that Beatrice was behind that crime. It was postmarked right before the family conference, and it was intentionally set up so that it will be sent back after some time. They wanted to arrive after the incident. Is that it? Yeah, that's what it implies. But it raises a few questions. Why use such an uncertain method? Uncertain? Yes. After all, no one could even guess at how many days it will take for the mail to return before you use this trick. Normally, you couldn't even guess at the amount of time it will take for the receipt post to do their research, determine that the recipient was unknown, and return it. Yeah, now that you mention it, it'll be more dependable if they just set an arrival date and mail it that way. Ryu? Maybe, but still, if the mail is the day before, then no matter how quickly returned, it will probably arrive Monday or later. I wonder if they wanted to make it seem like a letter from the dead. A letter from the dead, you say? You're right. It surprised me and it made me feel bad. Some mail with my dead family's name written on it on the outside in large letters was thrown into the mailbox with an ominous label attached. However, it doesn't really make sense to me. I will have mailed it to arrive on a specific day. I just can't understand why someone will allow to certainty of it arriving on a day other than the one they imagine. Maybe they just only wanted to be after the killings. So, okay, so what they're saying is that the intention here is most likely like they were, these letters were sent before, after the the whole thing, the whole killings. So after everyone was dead, these letters were sent, and they were sent like, oh look, it's like a weird thing, like a letter from the dead, like Maria, like Mary. Silent Hill. Also, Silent Hill F is going to be written by this guy. What the heck? He has experience already. So yeah, maybe that's the case. I'm also thinking about maybe these people were involved. You know, like if it says that it's sent by Rudolph, if it says that it's sent by Kumasawa, by Nansho, maybe they really did send them. You know, maybe. Who knows? Maybe they are involved in all this, and they were hiding it. On to the Rick. I'm going to be right back. Okay, I'm back. I bring cookies. If someone watches this, they might think that I'm super fat. It's a good thing that I can pause and unpause the whole recording. Oh, real? But it really does sound like Beato to me. Huh? You know about Beato? Of course, he's Sakutaro. Well, I only talked with her a little. Still, I can't pretty much accept that Beato will do something like this. Can't you imagine that happening too, Mamon? Beato likes pranks like this, right? Yeah, that might be true. I wouldn't put it past Beatrice-sama to try vicious pranks like the letter from the dead. No, that's not all. Beatrice will find it more interesting to do it through an uncertain method, instead of one that was absolutely certain. To do it through an uncertain method. No, that's not all. Beatrice will find it more interesting to do it through an uncertain method instead of one that was absolutely certain. So again, the thinking of how can you call it, probabilities, chances, risking, betting, something like that, right? She will find an uncertain method interesting. Yes, like Kinso, right? I like this song. I remember Maria Onechan's diary. It had the sprite playing with Beatrice very often. During those times, Beato sometimes played pranks on the adults' relatives with Maria. But those pranks always had a touch of witch aesthetics, which was that they were more interesting when they were uncertain. I see. One day, Maria Onechan and Beato decided to use a random minicard she had brought from a card. It was a popular toy at the time, and if you make the minicard back up, it would wind up the spring in the tires, and when you let go, it would race forward. I believe everyone has those kind of things when they were younger. If not, you have to be a very late zoomer or I don't know. Here where people were poor, so we have this thing instead of smartphones. They had worn up that minicar and set it behind a milk jug. Oh. In other words, the prank was that if you lifted the milk jug, the minicar will jump forwards. Ah, I see. I like it. Okay. So, how can I explain it? If someone doesn't know about this, there's this like toy cars, like Hot Wheels, and but not Hot Wheels. Okay, they are wind up. That means it has some kind of mechanism that if you twist some lever, it gets built up something inside, and when you let it go, it goes really fast. And what they do is that with the pressure of the milk jug, they put it they put it they put it on top of the car, so the pressure will prevent the car from going forward. So when you take when you lift the milk jug, it will go boom, and it will be super fun. I like that prank. It's so cute. Hoping that someone will get caught in this prank, Onichan and Beato had watched the adults from the shadow the whole tea time. They were looking forward. It's so childish. I love it. They were looking forward to seeing someone get caught by it. But no one moved the trap milk jug, and the trap ended in a misfire. Oh. Just imagine these two idiots getting excited. Oh, someone is going to leave that milk jug. And when they do, that car is going to... When Onechan had the then mother, we should have put it somewhere where it will be definitely caught by someone. Beato apparently said this. The most interesting and thrilling traps are those where you don't know who'll get caught, or even if anyone will get caught at all. It's probably true that you wouldn't get this kind of excitement from a trap that would certainly go off. Similar accounts occurred in multiple places, making it possible to guess that the witch called Beatrice had a fickle character and loved a random thrill. So it is just like I was thinking, you don't know if it will work or not. You should guess. You just have to take that chance, which makes sense, right? It wasn't completely sure that these letters were going to be sent, but Beatrice just is her way of doing things, so she sent them anyways, hoping that it will work. A fickle person is very hard to deal with. I can't spin the chessboard around to find out what that witch from 12 years ago was planning. As Angie examined this, her gaze darted from place to place. Then she suddenly showed interest in the wall. There, several framed pictures were hung. Many of them were commemorative photos from when the relatives of the Kumasawa family gathered or went somewhere to play. Kumasawa was in several. And she still wore English. A smile that made it so you could almost hear her light-hearted ho 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 laugh. It's part of my distant memory, but I definitely remember that she was this sort of cheerful old lady. Man, I love this. I love this novel. This is just these little things, you know, it's like you get so close to these characters. Did you notice anything different about Kumasawa-san in the days leading up to the incident?
Nope. She looked like the same as ever. The family conference put her on edge, so she was always grumbling about how tough it was.
Huh? What's this? Among the several frames, there was one that had something other than a picture of people in it. It was a picture of an enlarged relief of a door from a Western-style house or something. You couldn't see any interesting subjects in particular, which actually bugged me a bit as I wondered why anyone had gone to all the trouble of taking it. As I got closer, I realized that some characters had been written in a pen.
Oh yeah, that photo I got when Mother's belongings were distributed. I think it has something to do with the Legend of the Gold thing.
The Legend of the Gold. The witch epitaph, you mean? It was whispered that it pointed out the location of the hidden ten of gold, so Kumasawa-san tried to solve it too. But this isn't the epitaph. It's the first time I've seen it. There was an arc about the Western-style door, and that's where the relief was. English words were engraved there, and that seemed to be what the picture was focused on. The pen writing appeared to be in a traditional into Japanese. This door is opened only at a probability of 1,000,000,000 to 1. You will be blessed only at that probability of 1,000,000,000 to 1. I don't recognize it. Nothing like this ever showed up in the epitaph or the Onechan's diary.
In Mother's belongings there were quite a few photos and notes that looked like her trying to solve the riddle of the epitaph. Mother was actually surprisingly fond of that kind of thing. And there was that rumor that 10 tons of gold bar were hidden somewhere. It's no surprise that she got absorbed by it.
In both Maria Onechan's diary and in her grimoire, there was descriptions of the witch epitaph. It had talked about how it was a ceremony to open the door to the Golden Land, Beatrice's resurrection ceremony, Beatrice's succession ceremony. On and on. Maybe the most interesting one was the last part about it being a succession ceremony. Resurrection and succession. According to Beatrice, if you were able to solve the witch epitaph, you would receive not only the 10 tons of gold of the Shinomiya family's inheritance. That's what I explained in the stupid summarize that I did. But her own magical power and name, as well as the title of Golden Witch, just like Eva did. Among the Shinomiya family household at the time, the witch epitaph was thought of as a difficult case, which the family head Kinso has arranged for to choose his successor. But with the Marie Sorcière interpretation, the questioner was Beatrice herself, and she has possessed the question in part to choose her successor. There were slight discrepancies in the details of the two interpretations, so again, a lot of interpretations, a lot of theories about this. Either way, its ominous contents brought to mind a bloody serial murderer, and both of the messenger's butlers drew a tale of crime followed with that pattern. If I could solve the witch epitaph now, 12 years later, I wonder if I could expose some plot made back then. I tried to solve it many times myself, but I never did have a clue what it meant. It seems that many witch hunters tried as well. I also found theories that the La Plata theory and the Nora theory in certain books. However, neither of these theories were conclusive. Are there any other materials?
I think so, but they were all split up between my siblings. I don't have any clue who has what, sorry.
Just reading this English text that Kumasawa-san took pictures of, it gives me an impression that this was a forbidden door that was really rarely open. But where in the mansion it is, I wonder. Judging by the lighting, It looks like the outside. I wonder if Kumasawa-san thought that the gold might be hidden in there.
Who knows? Either way, I do wonder where the Rokajima mansion was. I hate to say it, but there wasn't enough money in Mother's bank account to make me think she found the gold. She probably didn't find it at all.
The Golden Witch Beatrice gave 10 tons of gold to Kinso, which meant that the witch was the true owner of the gold. Beatrice was the owner of all the vast fortune of the Ushiromiya family. So she worked as some sort of investor or something like that, right? The witch holding this vast wealth had massacred the humans on Rokashima on that day, sending large amount of money to the surviving relatives like it was a game. Like hell, it's a letter from the dead. This is a desecration of the dead. I was once again convinced that when my family died on that island that day, they didn't go to heaven. They are really being trapped by the witches even now and are being desecrated and tormented for all eternity. That's an interpretation, yes, but I don't know. It's very complicated. Definitely we're fighting against Beatrice, okay? But there's something more in here, and then we need to know. The last place Angie visited was a stone in the region between the housing district and the retail stores, with a signboard saying Marufuku Sleep Shop. Okay, let's go. There lived the man who has been oh, the boat captain, okay. The boat captain of the ferry boat to Rokashima at that time. Okay. Even he, who had once lived as a man of the sea, had retired after contracting a serious illness, and was now taken care of at the house of his son and his son's wife. Oh, look at you.
I remember it very well. You were still about this small. Look how you're grown. And it must have been very tough on you. I know very well how you must feel.
So this person actually met Angie and the people there, because Nancho-sons and Kumasawa-sons didn't. The former boat captain was in such high spirits that you couldn't really tell what he had retired in the first place. His memory seems clear too, and he could remember the events of more than a decade ago well, apparently even about how Angie had been at that time. The way he chattered was very helpful for Angie, but at the same time, he also remembered the final family conference very well, and the fact that he remembered even details like Beatrice's fall madness. Butler's fall madness on the boat. Oh, fall madness. Oh, oh, bring back some memories. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read this later. Remember, even details like Butler's fall madness on the boat was actually painful for her. Oh. It had been so back then as well, but even now there was no public way to cross Rokashima. It was necessary to make an individual request to an owner of a boat to make the voyage. I've been unable to arrange for a boat to Rokashima, so if he refuses me, such voyage will probably become hopeless.
Don't give up. I getcha. It won't be easy to find a boat eager to go to that island. By now, there are even some who called it by its old name, Akushi Kishima, Akushi Kishima, Akushi Kishima, instead of Rokanshima. It's understandable why the sailors around here will turn down your request.
And what Akushi Kishima means? From the start, fishermen had feared Rokanshima as an island of misfortune, and because of that incident 12 years ago, this fear has reached a peak. We peak the misfortune. They respected the sea. They respected the sea, feared it, and revered it. There were almost no sailors who would try to take a boat to the coast island. Because of that, most of the witch hunters were unable to cross over Rokanshima, and were limited to taking a trip around the island. Ironically, this had caused the sense of mystery surrounding Rokanshima to increase even more, which has resulted in the propagation of the bizarre witch stories they love so much. Okay, so I haven't explained that before. And it doesn't really matter that much. The witch hunters are just these people, like people now that love legends and conspiracy and paranormal things, and their TV broadcast and all those things that kind of haunted Angie existence because she doesn't like all that stuff. So, because for her, obviously, it's just a horrible thing that where all her family died. And so these people really want to solve the mystery, but they're just taking it as a mystery, as something fun, while Angie is just like that. So this is the Professor Otsuki, a professor at a certain college, well known as an authority on the subject of Western folklore. He's also famous for his hobby researching the Rokanshima Witch Island as one of the witch hunters. The primary focus of the witch hunt is pasting together of occult stories to try and make them match with the Rokanshima incident, making it much more of a mental game for the latentes and enthusiasts of the mystical and the scientific investigation into the truth of the crime. Will you take me in your boat?
Yep. They're supposed to give it back to me just for tomorrow. Though it seems that Ancients has been pretty bad mood lately. I'll knock it into shape.
Let's go! The former board captain promised that tomorrow he will go back to his previous shop and take his boat out to Rokanshima. Now, my method to transport to Rokanshima is uncertain. This is probably all I can do on Nishima. All that's left is tomorrow. On Rokanshima, I reach the final destination of a journey that stretches back 12 years. Okay.
Isn't that great? This way, it looks like you'll be able to go to the island.
It sure does. I heard that it will be hard to find a boat, so the boat captain's helpfulness really saved me.
Although it might not be the same as it was for you, Angie-sama, I'm sure the incident 12 years ago has been a turn for the boat captain as well, one that he still hasn't been able to pull out. Oh, real? Even the boat captain wasn't able to sort out his feelings this whole time.
That's probably true. If that guy has taken his boat out on October 5 as promised, there's a chance that he could have saved lots of people.
If he hadn't been hesitant to go out just because of a little wind.
Come on, it was a storm, it was a typhoon, Mamon, what the heck are you talking about?
Oh, Ryu, you shouldn't say things like that. I'm sure that painted the boat captain constantly until today.
Let's go. But we have an opportunity to solve it. Apparently, they truly had been right in the middle of a typhoon on October 5. According to the boat captain, he had known for certain that they'll be dragged by the typhoon if they headed to Rokkenshima on October 4. But the family had been very persistent about the date of their conference, which had been determined beforehand. It was only natural. All of the relatives had been very busy at that time, and they came to the family conference only after arranging their schedules beforehand. It was probably a situation where they couldn't easily push it back to the next week just because a typhoon was approaching. So then again, these whole killings, the amount of preparation that you have, if this is something made by a human, you need a lot of preparation. So you have to... How is even possible? So it's not that... It's not that you need to know there was going to be a typhoon, but also that everyone was going to... They were only going to be able to go to the island on that specific date. And so then again, more things getting piled up that it's just more coincidences, that it feels like it was made by a witch, like it was destiny or something like that. So you know, it feels like it was approaching. It wasn't the boat captain's fault, but perhaps you could say that he wasn't responsible, that he could place the blame wholly on the typhoon. Certainly, just as these two said, there's no doubt that the boat captain has been dragging the events of 12 years ago along with him this whole time. And by taking me, the last member of the Ushiromiya line, to the island, and bringing me back safely, he might be trying to find some resolution for his past. The way that you phrase it, stop it. Stop it, you dumb. The boat is supposed to return after noon. I'll guide you to Rokkenshima after that, so we should arrive before evening. It's an island without electricity or lights. You won't be able to stay long. Will you be able to satisfy with landing of that sort? Of course. There's nothing that will make me more satisfied by staying longer. I'm grateful just to have you take me there. Yep, don't mention it. If I hadn't parted with my boat, I'll be able to guide you to the island as much as you like it without being stingy. It's not like I have a goal of doing something in particular on Rokkenshima, so I'll be there during the evening. The evening, which straddles the two different worlds of day and night, seem almost like a borderline between this world and the next, or possibly 1998 and 1986, and it felt like the most fitting time to visit Rokkenshima. It's not like I have anything particular to do there. Just staying there for a few hours should be enough for me to find some closure. I was thinking of a voice for this guy. At that time, there was a smug knock on the paper sliding door, and Amakusa stuck his head in, tapping his watch. I nodded back and told him about who had succeeded in reserving a boat for tomorrow.
That's great. It's about time for us to go. We'll be counting on you tomorrow, Captain. Sir, leave it to me. I have heard all about what you guys gone through. I also watched the talk show at the time. I was disgusted by the people who stirred up that incident just for fun. I'll help out any way I can.
Thank you very much. Then we'll see you noon tomorrow. Here. The fare for the boat. And and she took a wrapped wad of 10,000 yen bills from her pocket. The boat captain should have noticed its thickness as well, but he paid it absolutely no interest and shook his head.
I'm grateful to you. This is a sign from the heavens. I've been given a final chance to take you to Rokanshima and bring you safely. Now I'll finally be able to finish the final job Kinso-san entrusted me with. So I'm grateful to you. I got more than enough money from Kinso-san back then. I can accept yours.
Thank you very much. I can't. Let's see. Okay, I'm leaving it here. Man, this thing. Okay, let's read this thing. So Kumasawa Sawakichi. Kumasawa's son works at the Nishima Fishing Harbor. He must have gotten his carefree, big-hearted personality from Kumasawa. Many of Kumasawa's sons are fishermen, so they are often away from land for their work. This one happens to work at the harbor, so it was only coincidence that I managed to get in touch with him. Kumasawa loved to talk, so I didn't hope he might have her let something slip, but Captain Kawabata, an old man who used... Holy shit, the people are just... They're talking a lot. An old man who used to be a captain of a high-speed boat that went to and from Rokanshima. At least among those still alive, he's certainly the person most familiar with the matters concerning Rokanshima. The media hope that might have learned details of the situation in some Ushinomiya family from various discussions with servants going to and from the island. However, he never said anything, so they eventually began to forget this old man. And that's it. Okay. Oh man, this game, every time. Okay, if I want to cry, this game, just the way it's phrased, though. The memories keep coming back. It keeps this game. Okay, I'm going to go. See you again. Have a nice day. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to the Iceland. Let's go.